Get ready for the morning rush.
Yeah, we'll start with Kristen Curry this morning. Kristen.
Good morning. We'll begin with our next big weather maker going into the future, and towards this afternoon we have yet another round of the spotty to scattered showers. It's the same storm system that brought us the rain yesterday. Favorable areas, southern Colorado, northwest New Mexico, stretched out along I-40 and even down to the south and west. Just a spotty shower chance here in the metro area, if anything at all. Crystal?
Thanks so much, Kristen. We're staying on top of the day's top local stories. We start with Fernanda Lopez.
Crystal, happening today, the man who killed Rio Rancho police officer last Memorial Day will learn his fate. A judge will sentence Andrew Romero today. He's facing life without parole. A week ago today, a jury found him guilty of killing Officer Greg Benner during a traffic stop. A large group of supporters of Officer Benner's family are expected outside and inside the Sandoval County Courthouse. Still ahead in the 5 Facts, more on what Romero's then girlfriend is also facing. Sarah?
In just 2 hours, the defense is expected to call witnesses to testify about the training of one of the officers accused of murder. Witnesses are expected to talk about the training of Officer Dominique Perez received in his time with Albuquerque Police. This after testimony from 2 sergeants with APD who were with Perez and Keith Sandy, both testifying that they believe Boyd wasn't complying with officers' orders and intended to hurt him. We'll be live streaming from the courtroom on our KRQE News app. Adam?
Overnight news, Israeli President Shimon Peres has been buried. Earlier this morning, world leaders, including President Obama and former President Bill Clinton, attended the funeral. Peres died on Wednesday due to complications following a stroke at the age of 93.
This morning, federal investigators will continue combing through evidence, trying to figure out what led to Thursday's deadly train crash in New Jersey. The packed commuter train plowed into a platform in Hoboken at the height of rush hour, killing a 34-year-old man, injuring more than 100 others. The train's engineer is now working with investigators.
The South Carolina teen accused of killing his father before opening fire at an elementary school is expected to appear in court today. Police say the 14-year-old shot a teacher and 2 6-year-old boys on the playground of Townville Elementary on Wednesday. The accused teen shooter has not been identified, though, because of his age.
Today, a Tulsa police officer will be arraigned on a manslaughter charge. Officer Betty Shelby has been out of jail on $50,000 bond since last week. She faces a manslaughter charge for shooting and killing Terrence Crutcher earlier this month. If convicted, Shelby could be sentenced to 4 years to life in prison.
The fallout continues today over Wells Fargo's creation of fake customer accounts. Yesterday, the bank's CEO appeared on Capitol Hill in front of a House committee. John Stumpf says he takes responsibility and is committed to fixing the issue. Many, including state representatives, are calling for his resignation.
Streets are back to normal this morning in El Cajon, California, after another violent and destructive night of protest. Police say between 50 to 75 protesters were in the streets blocking traffic. Some protesters fought with drivers. It was the 3rd night of protest over the death of Alfred Alongo, who was killed on Tuesday after pulling an object from his pocket and pointing it at police.
Citizen detectives are on the hunt this morning for a pair of thieves caught on surveillance video snatching their belongings right from their front yard. Take a look at this. On Tuesday, a black Nissan Cube parked at Lisa Thompson's home at Comanche and Eubank. The crooks noticed the cameras and still walk up to take the battery from a camper. 5 other people in the area also had their batteries stolen that same day. Kristen?
Today's Metro Threat Index added 3. Like yesterday, we have the possibility of a few of these spotty showers making their way into the metro. Gusty winds will be a concern, and that's why that storm turned severe yesterday, was those strong wind gusts. But we're also looking for some light to moderate rain. Lightning is possible within these storms, and it will be an afternoon evening event, but do not expect these to return tomorrow. Drier over the weekend.
Heads up, starting tomorrow, your power bill will be going up. The PRC voted 3-2 Wednesday for a compromise that will amount to an increase of 8 to 10%, depending on where you live. PNM initially proposed a more than 14% increase. Utility officials plan to head to the state Supreme Court, saying it's not enough. We can expect a decision within the next 18 months on that.
And we're waiting to hear back from UNM Hospital about employees' allegations that they're treated unfairly when it comes to pay raises. All 3 unions representing workers at the hospital are currently in contract negotiations. The unions say higher-ups have unfairly given themselves pay raises while offering minimal increases to workers.
Time now for a check on your morning drive. Here's some good news as you start your Friday morning. No major incidents to tell you about in the metro. As you can see, traffic building in volume on Paseo del Norte as you get close to I-25, as it does typically around this time of the morning.
Police say your safety is a big priority at this year's Balloon Fiesta, which begins tomorrow. This year, police will help parents reunite with lost children using cellular on wheels. Officers are also going to conduct random bag checks and be on the lookout for illegal drones. Bait cars will be set up around Balloon Fiesta Park to help nab thieves as well.
Happening right now, parents and students are arriving in schools across the metro for this year's Albuquerque Aloft. It's an annual event that comes a day before Balloon Fiesta begins. Pilots are paired with schools in Albuquerque and Rio Rancho where they can explain ballooning basics to students and their parents. Weather permitting, balloons across the metro will launch at 7 a.m. Kristen has a look at our forecast coming up in the 5 facts. Back to you.
All right, time now for the 5 facts.
We start with number 5. This year's state fair appears to be a big hit. More than 497,000 people were at Expo, New Mexico for the festivities this month. That's nearly 37,000 more than last year. Now, while weather caused a few slow days early on, attendance did pick up later on in the week.
Number 4, expect more delays on Paseo del Norte on your drive to work or school this morning. Crews have spent the last few months repaving, replacing guardrails, and even more between Coors and Jefferson. Yesterday, the eastbound lanes were down to 1 lane. That caused plenty of backups. DOT says construction should wrap up early tomorrow morning before the Balloon Fiesta crowds are set to be on the road.
At number 3, winds coming down this morning. Good news for those headed out to Albuquerque Loft. Later this afternoon, those spotty to scattered showers possible over the northwest and central areas. Drier conditions over the weekend with warmer temperatures to match.
Number 2 now, state lawmakers heading to Santa Fe this morning to tackle the budget crisis in a special session. The budget has taken a big hit because of New Mexico's struggling economy, especially in the oil and gas industry. The governor is against any tax hikes, though. She's also calling for lawmakers to discuss bringing back the death penalty, especially in cases involving the murders of children or police officers.
And number 1, in just hours, the man who killed Rio Rancho police officer Greg Benner during a traffic stop will learn if he'll spend the rest of his life behind bars without parole. Andrew Romero was convicted last week by a jury. His former girlfriend, Tabitha Littles, who testified against him in the trial, will also be sentenced. She is facing the possibility of up to 16 years in prison. We're going to be live streaming Romero's sentencing as soon as it happens on our website and on the KRQE News app today.
Okay, so we have a lot more coming up on KRQE this morning. Just a few minutes, we're going to be talking about how to do the proper lunge.
Oh, it's Fitness Friday.
I don't know if I want to know.
It is Fitness Friday.
Gym today. Get ready for that. We'll see you on the other side.